I really loved this idea, and I felt like it addressed all of the needs that this class needs. So students pretend that they work for an advice column of a magazine. Students read a letter from a student named Jonas, and if you've read The Giver, you know that Jonas is the main character. So this is from Jonas. Dear so-and-so, my name is Jonas and I'm 12 years old. Several months ago, I began as an apprentice for an old guy in the library. He's been teaching me all kinds of new things. The problem is that now, when I go to school, I feel different from everybody else. I don't seem to fit in like I used to. I don't think I have any real friends anymore. What should I do? Sincerely, different in a sea of sameness. So the idea is that students write a response to Jonas for this advice column, and then I want them to discuss their responses in literature circles. So my rationale behind this is, first of all, it hits on all of these ideas of conformity, equality, and identity. And as we go through the introduction, we hit on utopias, and we create an anchor chart about utopias and equality and this idea of sameness. So it will help, this will eventually be built on as the unit progresses. And especially because there's this opportunity for empathy. And that's why I chose this particular activity. There's this chance for the students who are bullying to try and look at it from another perspective. You know, you're a kid that doesn't fit in, how do you feel? So how can you give advice to this person? And then there's also an opportunity for the bullied students to make the connection that maybe what makes them different also makes them special, or also gives them value. So, on to the debrief. I already realized, so my introduction, I don't do explicit literature circle instruction until the end of the unit, so I already realized that one thing I need to figure out is how to get kids to have this initial discussion in a really respectful way. If you have any ideas, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that I would need to be really explicit about what's expected in this initial discussion, because as of right now, their discussions are fairly, I mean, each kid says about 3 words and then they spend the rest of the day kind of doing nothing. So any advice would be very welcome. Let's see.
Do you think it would work if you had specific questions that kind of broke down themes or connections between the book and the film? Maybe you guide the discussion more by having particular things that you ask them. Because I know sometimes they're asked, what do you guys think? That's so broad. Half of them don't think anything. I mean, I know they think something, but it's like, from the looks on their faces, you think half of them have never thought anything. So what if you could say a specific question, and maybe you put them in groups, or have like a point group leader to say their group thought, and you can work the room and make sure everyone is tossing something into the group leader.
Right. Well, the idea is that they would be reading their advice column in their groups. So they're, groups of about 4 people, they sit at tables. But that's a good idea, to have some set questions after they've read through that they can discuss that are very concrete. I like that.
Does your mentor teacher have discussion norms? No. So like 5 biggies, like, just like things that you do to have a positive conversation with another person, like,
yeah.
And that could extend, beyond this unit, which would be helpful.
And I'm actually thinking about doing that on Friday to have, I read somewhere that you can find clips of book clubs on YouTube, and you can play the YouTube clip, and then you can have the kids write what they notice about good book club discussion. But
or a good one versus a bad one. It might be
Yeah.
really interesting to compare with a disrespectful.
Yeah. And the one thing I've been worried about is just that I don't want to step on my mentor teacher's toes. I don't want to do anything in any way that will make him feel like I think what he's been doing is wrong.
Just say you're trying it another way.
Yeah.
Like, I'd really like to see how this goes and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying what you do is wrong, but I want to get a different view on things.
Yeah.
And I'd like your opinion. After I do it, will you give me some
Yeah.
good feedback, what worked?
That's good too. Give
Yeah.
me feedback. Well, and I do have in my favor that he's this big guy, and I'm knows that there's going to be a lot of differences in the way of